on my front, while you're fucking thriving.
Hey, I can't always be in a dumpster, dude.
I know. I got to be in the dumpster sometimes.
All right.
Mentally. And, so I don't know. I've been kind of struggling with that lately.
Oh, really?
It's kind of, the OCD is always humming in the background. It started in May, this episode of my OCD. And it's still going motherfucking strong.
It's going to be May.
Every single fucking second of every day, it's clicking away.
Okay.
Not good. But my OCD has always been wound up with, these are kind of outdated terms, like hypochondria. Mm-hmm. And I've always had that since I was a kid. And these two, people call it health anxiety, health OCD. That they're so intertwined that it's hard to separate out, where one begins and the other ends. It's kind of a cluster of symptoms that you can kind of tag names onto.
Yeah.
But, I had, whenever I have any symptomology in my body, one, there's a vague question of whether or not this is a product of my anxiety. If anxiety is generating these psychosomatic symptoms, or if they're genuine symptoms that then my health anxiety latches onto and becomes excessively worried about.
Yeah.
So I had some stomach issues after I had norovirus 2.5-3 weeks ago. I had, after that cleared up after a couple days, I still had this lingering for several weeks abdominal pain that would move around, sharp pain that would move around abdominally, and like digestive issues, inside, like certain foods just wouldn't sit right with me and became much more sensitive. And then my sort of mind clings on to that and sort of catastrophizes, like, is this stomach cancer? Is this, blah, blah, blah. And then, for a while you can fight back. You can be like, rationally, I know that's bullshit. I know I have these issues. I know my mind does this with every symptom I've ever had. It's never been bad, the thing that I thought it was. I've convinced myself I've had every disease throughout my life. But after day in, day out of those symptoms there, and the mind still trying to flag it as a problem, your will and your rationality breaks down.
Right.
And you do kind of become susceptible to it. So I ended up going to the doctors, paying out of pocket because I don't have insurance, just because I was like, what is going on? They did x-rays, urine analysis, blood test. Nothing was wrong. And and so, but it's interesting because when I have... One way I know that it's my mental health issue, it's my OCD, my hypochondria, is that when I am distracted, the symptoms go away. If you have real symptoms, you don't distract yourself from them. You're not just like in a conversation or at a party or hanging out with friends and family and don't think about it for 3 hours.
They're knocking too loud.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so I do notice that when I have any other symptom in my body, my little swallowing OCD thing, it'll take a back seat, and then this new symptomology will become the predominant thing that I'm fixating on. And I know it's about control. This thing I was watching is like, what are your core fears around this? Like, why do you have this body fear, this hypochondria, this always feeling of being sick, of possibly getting sick, of losing control? And it is about that control.
Yeah.
There's so much in life we don't have fucking control over. The economy, whether war is going to happen, the poisons they put in our food. I mean, you can drive yourself insane.
Just driving to work.
Someone
could just be texting and then hit you.
Yeah, having kids. I mean, there's just
you control that with your penis.
No, not the having of kids themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Kids in the world. And their struggles and them getting hurt or sick. There's so many things you can't fucking control. And I feel like my mind insists on one place that I can control. Inside my skin, please. Can I please control my body and mind? And life is like, haha, absolutely not.
No.
And so I have to really, really, if I want to overcome this shit, I have to really be okay with not being in control of even my own body, of even my own health, of even my own mind at some level. I've been working on that, but it's been a fucking slog. I have better days and worse days. I have moments where I really kind of like have little mini breakdowns.
Yeah.
Where, that feeling that you're talking about earlier, where just things are piling up so much and you just want a radical escape. You want to fucking hit the escape latch and, fall through the floor or something. Yeah. Anything to get the fuck out of here. I was telling my wife, like, if you told me that if I did this specific drug, if I had to get addicted to cocaine or if I had to become an alcoholic to stop these symptoms, I would seriously contemplate it. And I know that's hyperbolic and that's not, ultimately probably not true.
Yeah.
But it's like if there was a drug that I could take that would make these symptoms go away for, a couple hours at a time, I would fucking almost want to do it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And but the sad thing is there is none. Alcohol doesn't help. Weed only makes it worse. Like any other drug that I would take would just exacerbate it. And so I really am just stuck in this. I'm really backed into a corner. There is no escape. The only way out is through. You're going to have to deal with your deepest fucking fears. And you're going to have to learn patience and perseverance. And you're going to have to fucking suffer. And it's not going away anytime soon. And, you know, on some level, it might never go away. And coming to terms with the fact, like, what if it never goes away? Can I still live a fulfilling life? And then the last thing I'll say is that always trying to keep things in perspective. Everybody has something, right? So why in the fuck would I think that I would be the exception to that? Why in the fuck would I think narcissistically that life owes me comfort, that life owes me certainty, that life owes me control? It doesn't owe me shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I try to keep that perspective that there are people out there going through much worse shit than I am. Pity parties, victimization mentalities, these things are all poison when you're trying to get better. And trying to be graceful, trying to be courageous, facing my fear when the anxiety raises its head, sitting with it, not running from it, not trying to escape it. When the symptoms flare up, sitting with them, watching them, being okay with them being here, trying to be okay with them being here. That's what I've been working on, but it fucking sucks, and I'm sure there's people out there that suffer with health anxiety, hypochondria, etc. And you know, at least you're not alone. You know.
Yeah, I mean it's super difficult. Like one thing that I keyed in on when you were talking about, like one thing that's hard is patience. Patience is hard, and you know, you realize that the true marker of patience is not about how long you'll wait. Patience is about how you act when you're waiting. Because
that's good.
Because you don't. Like a lot of times in life, you don't control how long you're going to wait. It's about how you're acting when you're waiting. And so, like, that is what's so difficult is, you said, and I know you didn't mean it this way, but you said it sucks that, like, alcohol or drugs can't even resolve it. My friend, that is a good thing. Because if it did,
I hear you.
You would start a new training program to keep you doing that. And that's the thing, is that's what like is so detrimental to alcoholics and addicts, is that, man, your patience muscle atrophies because you have this thing that makes it go away. And like that acting during the patience, keeping your cool, because that's what you're doing, the acting is called living. It's how you're handling life and responsibilities. How are you like treating your kids during this time of patience when you're like pissed off and this thing's not going away? How are you like dealing with coworkers? How are you actually working? Like, are you like doing that quote unquote multitasking thing where you're actually just doing a bunch of things shitty because you don't want to focus on the one thing, or it's too hard to, or you just got too much stuff going in your head? Like waiting for relief or trying to accept that their relief is not coming anytime soon, and how you're behaving during that. That's where patience is. And dude, that sucks. To put it like really eloquently, elephant nuts.
Absolutely. And it sucks because the kids, you know, 2 young boys, they're young boys.
The antithesis of patience.
Oh my God, yes. And the testing of your own. So when you are mentally struggling inside, all your abilities to be reasonable, to be calm, they go down, right? You're much more likely to just fucking lash out, to have an anger attack, to raise your voice. And I fucking see that happening as, you know, I'm fighting this war inside myself. And then, you know, on top of it, I am, you know, having, you know, my wife's working long shift or something. So I'm with both the boys, and, you know, they're never both being totally good at once. I mean, they're just little boys. They're just doing little boy shit. Being loud, being crazy, fighting, breaking things, getting into things they shouldn't get into. I'm trying to put out fires all the time.
You want it to be quiet, but when it's too quiet, something's going on.
Oh, my God. Absolutely. That's a deeply true point. So it just really tests me from all fucking angles. And, you know, and I feel terrible when I do raise my voice. Obviously, I don't fucking put my hands on my kids or anything, but, you know, you'll yell, you'll get very impatient, and I hate to see that part of me, and I don't want, you know, to push that onto my kids and to have them have to deal with, you know, an angry or loud dad or something when I'm having super bad moments. And so I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to be patient. I'm trying to compartmentalize my own struggling and my responsibilities as a parent. But yeah,